back to All Talk Scottish Premiership. It's Season 2, Episode 7 already. Firing through the weeks here of the season. Hope you've all been enjoying it. Obviously, last week turned out to be a solo show with a guest cancelling last minute and Brooklyn having to miss a week. But Brooklyn, how have you been? Are you feeling good?
Mate, happy to be back. It's only a week, but see when you get into the routine of doing things over and over and over again, it feels strange when you don't actually have that. Hats off to you, mate, as well for actually being able to do it yourself. Because, like you said, we did have someone lined up, so we went from we went from 3 to 2 to 1 in the space of I think about half an hour before I went to
Aye.
record. So it was a bit of
Aye.
scramble, but got one at the
It,
end, mate, and we're back to normal.
it was one of them ones. The very first show I done, obviously, I done it by myself. But see now having somebody there every week, genuinely before it, I was like, "Fuck, I don't know if I want to do this." Like, because it is like not in a hang way. I don't really think we disagree a lot, and people have kind of given that as feedback. Like
Aye.
sometimes people actually say, even if you agree with each other, somebody just pretends you don't agree. But I think it's hard to be fake. But kind of just sitting and being like, because I don't think you would have disagreed with me when I sit and went, the old firm was pish. Like you'd have went like
Oh,
that. It
mate.
was. So
Um, we also don't want to speak about it too much, and I think we did kind of agree with maybe speak about it later on. But aye, it's. I think to be fair, everyone kind of knew going into it was going to be a poor watch, but I think somehow
aye,
it's still actually surpassed everyone's expectations on just how shite both teams actually are right now.
aye.
But aye, it's ridiculous, man.
Because that we'll just give a wee bit of uh like I don't know what I'm trying to say. Well, I'll basically run through what we're going to talk about and the order of the show, basically. So I'm going to. Last week, I briefly went through all the teams that Aberdeen, Rangers, and Celtic got, but I never said what games I think they would win or lose. So we'll go through that quickly. And for once, it was actually a good wee break uh, with Scotland. So we'll briefly talk about the games, uh, and then we'll go into the. Going to maybe get his wee say on the old firm. We'll also talk about the statement that came out from Celtic on Saturday night. I was sitting enjoying my recorder like ciders, and it's safe to say I nearly launched the bottle off the fucking wall. Uh, and then we'll go into the fixtures, which I have already predicted my side of things. I don't see me changing them. It's not as if like there was going to be any transfers or anything. But we'll go game by game here. So Aberdeen's draw, their first game in the draw is at home to Shakhtar Donetsk. So I have put that they will not win that game. We can just run through them quickly. So
Mate, they're not
no,
going to win. And I think before we continue, you and I both actually said, I think near the end of last season, especially into this season and pre-season, we said if Aberdeen start poorly in the league, which we actually both said we think they will, we said we think Jimmy Taylor's going to struggle to keep his job. And then a few weeks ago, we added to it and we said we think he might get the European run side of it. They might give him until the first game. I
aye.
think that Shakhtar Donetsk game could be the end of him.
Well, as we do say, bet responsibly, but do not go with us if you're a betting man, because last week on the predictions, I got 1 point and Brooklyn got 0. So do not go with us for any predictions. But aye, that could be the end of Jimmy Tilleen, especially if he doesn't get a win this Saturday at home to Livingston. The next game is away to AEK Athens, which I said they wouldn't win, but before we've came on, I've changed that to a draw. I don't think they're going to lose every game, so I've changed that to a draw.
I think see they actually did look quite good in Europe, but we can't always agree. I'm going to go that they lose that as well.
Okay. Their next game is away to AEK Larna, who beat Legia Warsaw in the Europa League, but Larna ended up dropping into the Conference League the next round, so they're away from home against AEK Larna. I don't believe they'll win that game.
I'm going to say they draw it. I think they'll
Okay.
get. I agree with you. I think they'll get something for the European campaign. We actually, to be fair, some of the best feedback we've had on the TikTok page was talking about Aberdeen. We got a lot of kind of responses talking about would you sacrifice the league for getting through into the knockouts in Europe? And I actually think the kind of majority of Aberdeen fans said aye. I think they've kind of already wrote off the league. At the end
They,
of the day,
they,
they're not.
they got the hardest possible draw.
Aye, out of all the teams, aye, bar none, aye, 100%.
But I know that's the thing with the TikTok as well. A lot of people might look at us and go, one of these are Celtic and one of these are Rangers, but you know, we've put a few things out there with Falkirk as well. So we do try and talk about other teams. It is just hard that in the country we live in, it is always a two-horse race and two teams
Aye.
are at it. But obviously, it is good Aberdeen getting through, and Hibs were unlucky as hell. Um, but the next game, they're at home to FC Noah, who I believe played Chelsea last year. I've actually backed them to win that. I think
I
they'll
think
get a
they'll win
win.
it. I think they'll win it.
And then the next game, they're at home to Strasbourg. By the way, the Conference League, they only play 6 games. They don't play 8. So it's 3
Right.
home and 3 away. They're at home to Strasbourg, who has that sort of link with Chelsea.
Mate, that could be a bad night for Scottish football.
I don't think they
Um,
win that. I don't think they win that.
I think, to be fair, though, it is harsh. I think even if a Rangers and Celtic came up against Strasbourg, because they have that kind of, like, you're seeing it, the Chelsea are buying boys for 50, 60 million and loaning them or selling them to Strasbourg. And a guy, he's not been great the last couple of years, but you've got Ben Chilwell, who was like people a year or two ago were clambering from to be in the England squad. And now he's just away over there because it's Chelsea's kind of like their parent club sort of thing. So I think it could be a difficult night for Aberdeen.
So who's their manager again? Rossiter? What's his name? Not Rossiter. Oh, we don't follow Strasbourg, but it's somebody. He used to be a footballer and he's quite a young manager. But
I know. Do you know? I couldn't tell you his name, but he was a manager of Hull. He was a manager of Hull
aye,
City, and he almost got them. I think he almost got them into the playoffs. Or almost got them promoted, and the manager sacked them. He took them for relegate, like got to the bottom of the table into like the playoffs. Or just missed the playoffs, and they sacked him because they didn't like his style of football. And then he went to
yeah.
Strasbourg, and he's basically got them, I think, top 4, possibly 2 seasons in a row. And he offered them a bumper new deal. So I know exactly who you're talking about. I just couldn't tell you his name.
Um, it's this. By the way, before I'm obviously saying this out loud, but I have already predicted the Rangers and Celtic and Aberdeen one. So before this, we've still got one more game to predict here. But I did predict Aberdeen would get 4 points, and you're on the same track unless you say a draw or a win here. Away to Sparta Prague for the last game. I've said they don't win that as well, so they finish on 4 points.
I think they could get a draw.
Okay, so you're 5 points. Not much of a difference, but there we go. We've
Nah,
disagreed, everybody. Well done, you
nah.
fucking got what I
Uh,
wanted.
That's us finally caving. We took a week off and just fucking planned just
I
to
know,
disagree and planners and all that
I
stuff.
know. Fucking, we'll definitely disagree on the Rangers one. Um, so
I don't think we will.
Rangers and Celtic. Rangers got one of the. This isn't me making a dig here. Celtic got the third toughest possible draw, whereas last year in the Champions League they did get one of the easiest, if not the easiest. And Rangers have been given one of the easier draws, but they were in pot one. To be fair to them, so Rangers' first game is at home to Genk. I don't believe they win that game.
I think they will. And I think the thing is, they need to. See if Rangers, with everything that's going on in the league and the kind of atmosphere around the club, see if they don't win that. And I think even if they get as much as a draw, the rest of the European campaign, I wouldn't say it's a write-off, but it's a massive uphill battle. I think if you can take 3 points for your first game, especially when your first game's at home, that's essential. Like, you need to.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, yeah, I think you're giving Russell Martin a little bit more time, whether he gets it right or not. But by that time, I'd like to think you're starting to get an idea of what he wants to do. So I'm going to say we'll
See,
win that one.
we need a European correspondent because that's Strasbourg now, and also I'm trying to work out. I mean, this is a confusing one. I can't remember if O, who used to play for Celtic, either plays with Genk or Ghent, but I'm positive it's Genk. But
I think it's Genk.
he nearly went for 24 million or something, and he failed his medical. Mental, absolutely mental. Um, Rangers' second game, who a team that Celtic also got, is away to Sturm Graz. Max Johnson plays for them, I believe, as well. I've put that Rangers get a draw there.
I think Rangers wins. If I'm right in saying, does Sturm Graz not take an absolute kicking in the Champions League qualifiers? I'm talking it was like 7-1 on aggregate.
Off Bodo Glimt, who are a good side, who are a well-established European side now, though.
They are, but 7, to be fair, Rangers did just get bet with 9-1 in aggregate, so
I know, I do want to bring it up there.
Aye, fuck knows, man. Honestly, I'm still going to say that. I still say they'll win.
Okay, so me and my friend, I don't know, who we've kind of, my friend Dylan, we kept on making jokes about this team, and we said we would back them to the final. Rangers' next game is away to Bran, who I also think you go there and don't win. Oh, I'm not even kidding on. I think that could be a really tough game away to Bran.
See, honestly, just being a Rangers fan and knowing we'll draw. That'll be a draw.
Right, so you're already. I'm genuinely, I'm not doing this to wind fans up, right? Because I think Celtic will do well because I think there's that much of negativity. The team might go out there and perform, but you've already given Rangers more points than what I've given them.
That's bold. To be like, as
So,
in for the full
so
8 games.
you've given them one more point than what I've given them.
That's bold, mate.
But
That is
what
brave.
what we could do, and look, I'll happily not backtrack. But we've got another two games or so until these games start to kick off. Like Rangers' new
No, we
signings.
stick
Right,
with
that's
it.
fine.
We
But
stick with it.
remember, we haven't seen these new signings, but at this moment in time, you've already given them one more point than I've given them. So their next game is at home to Roma. Celtic also have Roma at home. I do not believe Rangers win that game.
Nah, we lose that one.
Their next game is away to who I feel like you've met every single year possible. Yous are at home to Braga. I don't think he's win it, even though it's at home. I
We
think
draw it.
so that
I'm saying
I've
it.
put a draw for that as well. So the next game you are away to Ferencvaros. I've backed you to draw that game. I think that'd
I
be a
think we
good
win
point to
that.
film.
I think we win that.
Um,
I think, to be fair, like, what you do need to remember is somehow, some fucking roundabout weird, Rangers are always good in Europe. Like, well, the Europa League, sorry, we're always good. We don't talk about it here in the Champions League. But in the Europa League, for as long as I can remember, what we kind of probably talking now, like 2019 might have been the first time we were kind of back in it around about Gerrard time. There's something about it where we're able to perform, we're able to get big results.
Was Van Gerard before Van Bronckhorst?
Aye, because Gerrard won the league. So because the Europa League final was just coming out of COVID, we had like the COVID passports and stuff. So that must have been 2021 or 2022. So I must have been round about kind of 2018, 2019 or something. But it's Rangers are just one of those teams that are so difficult to predict because it's like we're saying, in 2 weeks' time, this is kind of what you and I said at the start of the season. After Rangers dropped the first game, we said there's a roundabout way, and I said that this could happen. I didn't believe it would. I said if Celtic get knocked out the Champions League and then lost to Old Firm, it would have been roles reversed and all the pressure would have been on Rodgers. And you get knocked out the Champions League, you drew the Old Firm, but now both managers are just under so much pressure. So
I know
it's how quick everything changes.
I know, because I think just quickly touching on that, I think it's because of how bad a position Rangers were in. But see, honestly, right, see if Rangers won the Championship, I know they wouldn't meet each other in the league, right? But see if you got Rangers away in the Scottish Cup and you could take it a replay. If Rangers won the Championship and Celtic went to Ibrox and got a draw, Celtic fans are taking that every day of the week. So, see to go to Ibrox, yeah, you can look at it and go, oh, this Celtic team should be pumping this Rangers team. But all form goes out the window, which I've stated and you've agreed with multiple times before the game. So, for Celtic to go to Ibrox, not concede, and then come away with a point, that was okay. But it's then, which we'll then get onto, is how then nothing progressed transfer wise, and then statements came out.
Do you think there's a slight thing with modern Celtic fans where, because there was a couple of seasons, the 5-1 drubbings almost every game, it felt like, do you think Celtic fans became so accustomed to it that now anything less than a win feels like a loss?
Uh,
Because
For me,
if
for me personally, no. I mean, I've had every other set of fans slagged off. I'm not one to slag off my own Celtic fans, but I do think, and I'll get onto this more. Can I touch on that question when we go into the statement? Because I've got a
aye,
really good
because
point on that.
'cause do you
I've got
know?
a,
Do you know what it is? It's like just what you're saying. It's see if you're a Rangers or Celtic, and Rangers have been in this position before when like Tav's been out or whoever it is. Like Celtic went with Alison, who no fan in the country really rates, if I'm being entirely honest. So you're missing your starting right back. Up until recently, no one rated Liam Scales. I've seen in the last couple of weeks more people have kind of defended him, saying he's actually nowhere near as bad as everyone made out to be. But when two of your back four are missing, and then obviously Tierney can only play 65 minutes, so then you're replacing three of your standard back four, and you're still walking away with a point. You're going,
aye.
that's a good result more often than not. So it's strange the way that how narratives can shift and change. But like you said, we'll move on to statement later on. So
But, just basically what I looked at the Old Firm was it was a just don't lose for Celtic, but it was a must not lose for Rangers. And you can put that on my fucking grave because that was fucking what a quote that was. What a fucking quote that was. But I came up with that right there, right there.
this
So
is
the
why you're
next game,
the big bucks.
the next game you're at home against Ludogorets, and I've backed you to win that game.
Aye, aye.
Yeah,
So see,
and then
from it's definitely, and like you're saying, it's the easiest draw I've seen us have the full time. We've been in European competitions, so there really should be no reason that they don't get top eight as far as I'm concerned.
well, then the next game so is Porto away. Last
No, we
game.
lose that. We lose that.
So I've backed them. I've backed Rangers to get 6 points, and you have backed them to get 13 points.
That
So
should be enough for top eight, I'd imagine.
13 should be enough for top eight, depending how shit the competition is. But six still wouldn't get you through. So Rangers are out when I've done it. On to Celtic, you'll have a laugh here, but I do have a feeling. I do have a feeling with all this negativity, the players will go out and perform right. So the first game, which I can't fucking even see here, is away to Red Star Belgrade, which I think's a tough game, but I do think Celtic will go out and win it.
I think you'll draw.
Draw. Which, to be fair, as you kind of said with the Rangers thing, like if Celtic go away to Red Star Belgrade as their first game in the competition and draw or win, you can't really complain with that.
No, 100%. I
Um,
think even a draw, if no matter who Rangers are playing, if it's the first European game, if you get 3 points, amazing. You're off to a fly and you're already kind of halfway there. Genuinely with the new format, but aye, like a draw away from home's massive as well for
yeah.
especially in your first game.
And then the next game is at home to Braga, who Rangers also have, but I've backed Celtic to win that game as their first European game at home of the season in Europa League.
I think you just draw it again.
So
Genuinely,
I think this whole thing with the board, I mean, I get Rodgers, Celtic haven't been playing amazing, but I think people are kind of slowly forgetting, like, Celtic are still a good team and we're still doing well in the league. Look, we've not conceded a goal. You know, we've scored 1, 2, and then 3 goals. Like, I think that what's going on with the board is making people forget that the team does still have quality, and I think
the
that
team,
could,
the
like, you know what I
team
do hate
does.
quickly? Just see with the winger thing. It's like, oh, we've signed 4 left wingers. Are you trying to tell me that not one of them can play on the right? There's no way a professional footballer can only play left wing. It's impossible.
I
Like,
think there's some massive things that need to happen though, and like for example, you need to keep Carter Vickers fit. That's a non-negotiable.
yeah,
Kieran Tierney needs to be able to start playing 90 minutes. Engels needs to remember that he's actually gets paid to play football, and Maeda needs to learn how to take one-on-ones. Like, if one or two of those things fall into place, then I can see you doing really well in Europe. But right now, there's a lot that I look at and I go, like, it's the first time again, we'll try not to talk about the old firms. We're quite Callum McGregor just naturally looks as if he's just getting a bit older. It's not a bad thing. It's expected. He's played 70 games for about 5 seasons in a row. Like, it's going to fucking happen to anyone. But
aye.
he's been so instrumental in you're kind of looking at it and going, can he keep it up again for 40, 50, 60 games this season? I think that might be where you could start to see a drop off.
Yeah.
But I think you're right enough. There's enough quality in the squad that like realistically you could do well. But I think the Braga game will be a draw as far as I can kind of see it.
I think that's been Celtic's problem for a few years, just not taking their chances in Europe. One of them being away to Bayern Munich. They had three golden opportunities in that first half to genuinely go 3-0 up against Bayern Munich and never took them. So then the third game is at home to Sturm Graz. I don't
You
think
win
it's
that.
so I actually think we draw that. I just think it's a bit like last year. Out of all of our home games, Young Boys and Bruges looked to be the easier games and gave us the tougher games. Bruges obviously coming and winning and then getting an 85th minute winner against Young Boys. So I think we draw that. The next game we go away to. So as of right now, I've not got Celtic losing a game. As of right now, so we go away to Midtjylland, which I think we do get a draw there. I think Hibs gave them a fucking tough game, so I don't. I think if we go up there, we can give them a game.
Do you know, initially I was going to say that he's lose that, but watching how Hibs took the game, but again, I fucking must be his biggest fan. But I don't think you've got a Kieran Bowie sort of thing that's going to be physical and put himself about. Like, I know
Yeah.
Maeda's like the whole thing is he fucking doesn't stop running, but he's not really got that physicality to bring the ball in and hold it up for people. Um, saying that, I'll say a draw. I'll say a draw.
Okay. We then go away to Feyenoord, which I am going to, and I don't think we win that. I don't think we beat Feyenoord.
Nah,
I
I
don't
think
think
you
we do.
lose. I think you lose.
And then the next game is at home to Roma. I do think off the back of getting beat off Feyenoord, I think that Roma game might become a must-win game. So I do think we go out and win it.
Nah, fuck off,
I
Shay.
do. Swear to
Nah.
God. Swear to God.
No, this is the worst part. I know you believe it. But you don't. Nah.
Nah. And then away to Bologna. I don't think we win that. I don't think
Nah.
we win the point.
Nah.
And then at home to, I mean, Barkanas plays for them, man. Barkanas and goals. He'll have a wonder game, I bet you. But Celtic at home to Utrecht, last game of the group phase, I think they win.
I think he's won that, aye. But
No.
I think that middle period could kill you depending on kind of what the league fixtures and everything else is looking like at that point. Because obviously there's every chance that Celtic are going to be playing in the League Cup semi-final and final round about that period as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, hopefully, potential sort of Rangers, but then you look, it's going to be a
Yeah,
busy few months for Scottish football.
I kind of regret my Rangers one just because I did think Rangers went through, but when I was just doing it quickly, like 6 points obviously don't get you through.
Yeah,
But you obviously have backed Celtic to get through. What you've said would get them 10 points, and what I said would get them 14 points, which would be top 8. Um, I honestly think if you win, I know this sounds fucking daft, right? But it's so simple. See if you actually win the games you're expected to win, I think you're sound. And what I mean by that is, I don't care if it's an away game in Europe. If you go to Red Star Belgrade, Celtic are expected to win that, so go and win it. But see away to Feyenoord, you're not expected to win that game. So if you don't win it, you don't win it. Bologna, I still don't think you're expected to win that game. So see if you don't win it, you don't win it. But to be completely honest, if you're going away to fucking Midtjylland, I'm actually expecting you to come back with something. Like,
do
so
you
I know
know?
that sounds daft, but
No.
I'm
What?
back just to beat Roma. But it's the other home games. Like, see if you just go out and win them, you're sound.
Mate, no, what you're saying spot on, because I think it was a year or two ago. I think Rangers might get RS Limassol or someone along those lines. And Rangers went over, and like you're saying, everyone expected us to win. I think we ended up losing 1-0 or we potentially drew. And then everyone was like, right, that's us out of Europe. And I think next week we went and bet Real Betis away from home. And it's like you're saying, it's like you put yourself in that situation where you need to win those games. But exactly what you're saying, if you beat the teams that you're expected to, the likes of realistically, Rangers and Celtic probably are favourites against like Sturmgrats. So you go, right, if you can take 3 points there, you can kind of take the free hit against Roma. If you
Yeah,
go ahead and you beat whoever, it allows you a lot more flexibility with your points. And it means if you go ahead and you beat one of the teams that are more on like a Feyenoord or a Roma or probably even a Braga, if you beat a team like that, then you've essentially put yourself in a position where it is yours to lose. So I
aye.
know what you're saying is 100% spot on.
So I think we both agree Aberdeen go out. I kind of regret my Rangers one, so both really say Rangers and Celtic go through. But obviously, as you mentioned, in amongst that, you've got more international breaks, which could cause injuries, and you've also got League Cup games, depending on how far Celtic and Rangers actually get in that. But that was good. There, I enjoyed that. Obviously, the first game is in a couple of weeks. I don't get September weekend, but I was made aware the other day that both games would have fell on the Thursday going into the September weekend, but the first game is on the fucking Wednesday because every possible European game gets played on the Wednesday night uh, in the first game. Or they use the
Even
Thursday. So swear to God, mate, Celtic are away to Red Star Belgrade on the Wednesday.
we'd still be first. That's fucking weird.
But how gutting actually is that? All the pubs, man, would have been fucking bounced. I don't get September weekend, but the UEFA put a blinder there, man. Put an absolute blinder. But that was good. I enjoyed that. Obviously, uh, I'll keep that bit of paper. I mean, Aberdeen might surprise us, who knows? But I don't really think they will.
Nah.
So moving on just briefly, because the games were pretty boring, but Scotland came away for the games, not conceding a single goal and getting 4 points from their first two games. Obviously, the draw away to Denmark was very impressive because literally last night, Denmark have went to Greece and just pumped them 3-0. So that was a big point for us. And then last night, beating Belarus 2-0 with a Shay Adams goal and an own goal. What's your thoughts? Do you think, I know it's early, but do you think we qualify? We've obviously set ourselves in a good start, really.
Do you know, I actually think that Celtic's new signing really impressed me for Denmark. Big Casper Dolberg up front. I thought he put himself about really well. I think
Great
it'll
player.
be, a great threat for Celtic this year, and he could be the one that fires you through. But to be fair, every single time I see a Scotland lineup, I criticise it, whether it's publicly or in my head. But Grant Hanley will forever be a man that will surprise me. I swear to
Yeah,
God, I don't think he's
Brilliant.
actually kicked up. I don't think he's kicked a ball in the league for 2 years. I'm pretty sure you and I pulled up his stats one day, and it was something he had 2 starts last season for Norwich. Something
Yeah.
mental like that. And I don't think he's played for Hibs since moving in the summer. And he's starting and dominating at Denmark side. It's
It's
ridiculous.
nuts. The Scotland team's a hard one. Like some of my friends last night, you're 2-0 up against Belarus, and you're still bringing on these players like that he's used to, like put on your Lennon Millers and that. But at the same time, I look at it and he's trying to get Scotland to a World Cup, right? So imagine, right? Look, Lennon Miller is quality enough to start for Scotland. I mean, come on. But imagine he does fling on a Lennon Miller, right? And then we end up drawing 2 each with Belarus. People will then go, why the fuck would you fling a young boy on a World Cup qualifier when we were 2-0 up? Just see the game out and play him in a game where we don't need to win. So everything has its like he is good enough to play in the game, but at the same time, why fling him on? Because see if you then fling him on, it goes tits up. People will then go, why the fuck would you put a young boy on in a game like that? So I do get it, but I would maybe rather. I'd rather wait and see if we get through first. I mean, obviously, we'll now have Denmark at home and Belarus at home. We still need to play Greece away, which I'm pretty sure we actually drew with them away from home or beat them away from home. But then they came to Hampden and absolutely rattled us. But I think maybe get through the Greece away and home game and then see where we are. Like maybe play the boys at home to Belarus and stuff like that. And no disrespect to Belarus, but obviously out of the three teams, I would rather try the young players at home at Hampden against
Aye.
Belarus. But I think that draw could be one of the most important points. And as you said, that now maybe means we can go to Greece and take a hit.
Mhm.
because people would expected the hit to happen at Denmark. But now it's kind of like, yeah, you want to go to Greece and win, but if we do go there and get beat 2-1, it doesn't matter because we've already done the tough trip to Denmark and get a point there, and then get 2 points and then get 3 points in Belarus. Sorry.
Aye, I think Denmark will probably look at us, although we're starting to get very, very good players in almost every single position. Denmark will probably look at us and say that's 2 points dropped for them.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of get what you're saying in the sense of, aye, you could throw these boys in and it could backfire, and then you are getting media backlash and whatever. But I think it's because it's such a recurring theme with Steve Clark, where he's taking these young boys and whoever it may be. For a while it was Gilmore, now it's kind of Lennon Miller, you're looking at Kieran Bowie coming through, it was Ben Doak people were screaming for, many moons ago it was Nathan Patterson. He's just got a tendency of like, he has this core group of players, and to be fair, they've done well for him, they've got him to 2 major tournaments,
Yeah.
but you also kind of need to build into the future and also maybe weighing up, is what's coming through better than what's currently there? Because Kenny McLean's provided some unbelievable moments for Scotland, but I would still prefer to have like McTominay, McGinn, Gilmore, Lennon Miller, those four just off my head should be ahead of him, realistically.
Yeah.
I think as well the argument I think is probably a good one is we know Lyndon Dykes coming on for 20 minutes. We know what he can do, but we've seen it for years. What can a Kieran Bowie do? What can a Kieran Bowie do in that system? Playing off someone, can he bring people in? And then it gives, firstly, Steve Clark, but also the opposition the thought of going, right, are they going to go to the bench and bring on Lyndon Dyke, who's going to win the heaters, who isn't going to run behind? Are they going to bring Kieran Bowie, who's going to win heaters but also run in behind? Are they going to bring in, Kenny McLean, who's just going to slowly play down? Or are they going to bring in Lennon Miller, who's also got the ability to slow it down or crash the box? It allows all of these wee moving parts. Whereas right now, as Scotland fans, we only kind of know what we know, sort of thing, which is just
Yeah.
a core group of, I'd say, about 15 bodies that you kind of know. Out of those 15, you could maybe say, like I said, a Kenny McLean or a McGinn might start, so one of them might swap. But you kind of know the start 11, and the four or don't are going to be four of the five subs.
Yeah.
So I do think for Scotland's sake, I hope that we do start to bring a few of these boys through a bit more and give them more of a chance. Obviously, you've seen Max Johnson get his.
Yeah.
Aye, Max
Played well,
Johnson.
Mark Johnson.
Aye, question myself there. Max Johnson get his first start. Actually seen some people criticise him, saying that Ralston's can do the exact same thing, or he's worse than Ralston. But that's the problem. Is you've got people on one hand that are saying give the young boys a chance, and the young boys get a chance, then they go, oh well, he's not one as good as what we've got. Why is he not? Because you need to try and find these things
I
out.
know. I know.
So as a football manager, especially, I think international is probably harder. I don't think you'll ever win because people don't just have like when it's a Rangers or Celtic or a Man United or an Arsenal or Hibs. That's your players. You know who's in the club. You know who you still have favourites, but it's all the one team. Was an international, people get biased, and I think I heard someone talk about this. It might have been an overlap or something that day, and it was like an Arsenal fan with England won't be happy that Saka's not starting, so they'll just turn on England. Or like
Yeah.
a Liverpool fan because Trent's at the time wasn't starting, they'll turn on England. Scotland aren't as bad, but you do kind of still have a like at times it was like Rangers fans being like, "Well, I'm not supporting the Arsenal because Ryan Jack's not starting," and it's stuff like that. So I think it's extremely difficult, and I don't admire the position that Steve Clark's in.
Yeah.
I also think he's to an extent put himself there. But
Yeah. No, I agree. I do agree.
in typical Scottish fashion, we've took 4 points for international break and we're somehow being negative about it.
Well,
Because like I said,
before
at the
we
end of the
move
day,
on, you go. Sorry.
I was just going to say, mate, at the end of the day, it's kind of like what I said at the start. We're in a good position to qualify now. Denmark probably the kind of hard support we're going to get going over there, taking the draw, strong performance, and then as kind of like you say as well, Scottish in years gone by, a Belarus on paper we should beat, but years gone by you would have been 0-0 or you'd
Yeah.
lose it, and then all of a sudden it's that great point against Denmark means nothing. So I think to be fair, we just need to watch for not being too negative. 'Cause at the end of the day, they've done everything they can, and we're in a good position where we could be looking at going to our first World Cup in our lifetime for a start.
Since we've been alive, aye. So that's what I was going to ask you, just yes or no, obviously, before we move on. Do you think we qualify?
I think we do. Wait, let me. So, scrolling through on social media Saturday night, I
Yeah,
had a sober Saturday for a change,
I don't
and
know.
I seen a Celtic club statement get published.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, my first instinct was that Rodgers had walked. I don't know if that was yourselves. I didn't actually read the statement, but that was the first. So that was my initial thought. So I'd opened the statement, and I'd essentially seen it was just the board has said, and then I couldn't be bothered. I don't care that much, mate. So I closed it. But I'd imagine you've got a couple of things to say about it.
I do. So it was actually brought. So Paul Gordon, who obviously brought me onto the channel, and then Brooklyn, I brought you on, and he runs the YouTube channel and stuff. He messaged me this morning asking if we're going to talk about it, because people must love it when I go on a rant, because a few people have went, "Are you going to talk about this?" So it was brought to my attention by him as well that it was, did you know it was done through ChatGPT? Did you know that?
Someone flagged this up. I swear I seen a tweet. Someone flagged it up. But I kind of just thought it was a Rangers fan taking the piss.
No, so if that actually is true, because that is well, right? So that's just simple wee detail, right? There was no name put on it. It was like from the board or something. It said like what you just said there. There was no. It was nothing personal, right? So the first of all, the day before it was leaked that it was Rodgers' fault, all these transfers, right? When that's absolutely nuts, because last year or the year we actually brought Adam Ida on loan, the reason Adam Ida came on loan was because Brendan Rodgers phoned his agent. Celtic never brought him in. So he actually helped the transfer recruitment because they were fucking incompetent at their job. So that got leaked as well, which I don't think MD actually really believed or gave a fuck about, because every Celtic fan I know said if on the morning after the transfer window, if Brendan Rodgers walked, I think he would be regarded more of a legend than what he already is at Celtic, and I'm not even kidding on. I genuinely am not kidding on. You can see steam appearing from my fucking head here.
Mate,
So,
I've fully sat back in my chair, mate. I'm just letting you. I'll give in wee bits
so,
in, and fill you up a wee bit more, mate. But I'm just yelling at everyone else.
so they blamed financial fair play. They blame financial fair play. They are one of the most beneficial clubs in the UK, which I've touched on this season, including with Man City, with finances. They are nowhere near the financial fair play percentage, and they're even further away. The AGM is in 2 weeks, so Celtic are going to be an even richer club than what they were last year, right? And so that's fucking nuts as well. And this was what I'm going to say to you about the whole. Do you think Celtic fans are so used to these 5-1s and 5-0s? And I didn't really want to go in and slaughter Celtic fans, because I don't want to slaughter Celtic fans because I'm slaughtering myself. But my point to that is, though, there was a dig made towards Rangers in that statement about how
Is
other
it?
other clubs uh, pretty much make a mess of a lot of their transfers. They bring players in that aren't good enough, or they end up having players that are worth a lot of money and they leave on a free. So this is my point on this, right? Celtic fans, I believe, do not give a fuck about Rangers anymore. All these titles are still getting won. Last year, we lost the majority of the old firms, but what did we do? We went out and won a League Cup. We went out and won the went out and won the league, and then we fucked it against Aberdeen, but we still won 2 out of 3 trophies. Celtic could sell all 11 players tomorrow and bring in 11 players the following day and still go out and win that league this season. And I confidently believe that. Celtic fans, I believe, do not care much about Rangers anymore. And people might say, and I actually had a kind of back and forth with somebody in a positive way, where they said, I think he's out of order moaning, but I don't think we are out of order because this money that we pay, so we're one of the highest paying season ticket holders. Did you know how much Hibs fans are getting charged to come to Celtic Park in a couple of weeks?
£68.
Fuck, that's made it look a lot worse, better than what it actually is. £39, right? Hibs fans should not be getting charged £39 to come to Celtic Park. Away
No.
fans should be getting charged £20. I don't care if it's Dumbarton, Dundee, Dunfermline, or fucking Hibs. Rangers, charge them all the fuck you want. I'm kidding on. Kidding on. Away fans should not be getting charged £39, especially to come to watch that pish that's on the park. And I will go on to the pish that's on the park, I know, by the
And
way.
a big fucking mate, see as well, you get a big fucking obstructive view. It's not even a good fucking view that
Well,
you're paying
they
for.
never fill the away section, so they don't need to sit there. But it's just incompetence. You're going to laugh at this here. The stadium is a fucking shambles. How the fuck is the stadium half finished? They put all the banners down that said Celtic, and it literally just says "sell" on the side of it. So you want this? You want this to be? You want this to be disco lights, European nights? Oh fuck, 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 fuck. Maybe do the outside of the stadium up as well with all that money that we're giving you as fans. I fucking just I'm going to start drawing this out. The Green Brigade and the boys have put an open letter to the
Hey,
board, right?
have you ever seen that picture and it's the Bloods and the Crips holding up the scarves together?
Aye.
See when you text me saying it was a joint statement, I was like, fucking hell, hell just froze over because as far as I was aware, those two hated each other.
So this statement was put to the board wanting individuals at the board to be questioned and wanting answers from the board itself. There was 420 signatures, including Celtic supporters clubs from Dumbarton, Cambuslang, Spain, New York, Canada, all these places. Fan organisations also signed it, and media and online platforms also signed it, right? So this is 420 organisations, but in each of them organisations, you've probably got minimum 15 members. So you're talking thousands and thousands of fans, right? The board has also received a no confidence vote as well. I'm pretty goddamn fucking sure if the President of the United States got a no confidence board, they would be at a job in a couple of days, right? So I know it might be careful what you wish for, but it's not how rich Celtic is and how many trophies Celtic have won. What we see on the park, we are happy with what we see on the park most of the time. But it's these £600 season tickets, these tickets to fucking legend days and all this pish. Where is that money going? Where is that going? Because see, whether it's our money or it's the 20 million pound money from Kuhn or the 40 million pound money from the Champions League, it's going on players that cost 3 million. I do not know what the fuck's going on up in that
Mate,
boardroom, but it's fucking nuts and it changes to happen because, as I say, I strongly believe Celtic are just happy to be above Rangers. Fuck it, we're above them. No, we want to be successful in Europe. It does not mean win the fucking Champions League, but like we did, I've nearly flung my pen lid there. Fucking going to fling my pen. But
see that meeting. I hope to God, man, the board brings up something to do with it. Like, can he pay for it? And when you've got fans running on the park and stealing the corner flags, because you know for a fact that it will
I
be
was a
something
Man U fan.
fucking. Mate, you know for a fact there'll be something as stupid as that, but that like they'll try and justify, and then
But
they'll try and treat fans like fucking idiots like that. You know for a fact they will. It'll be the well, everyone else knows how expensive the cost of living is. So naturally, with inflation, we'd increase our prices, and then you get more money to get the sponsors, but it's just going to be a big pile of shit. And the fans will see right through it. But then where do you go for there? Is it back to protest? Is it what happens then?
it's just the board have also undermined Rodgers. Rodgers said under no circumstances is Adam Ida leaving until we get another striker in. He gets sold, right? It's just utter pish, and it's see these people that go, and I mentioned this the other week. A Dundee fan tweeted, and obviously I had this phone call earlier on. Oh, yous are lucky. No, our standards are high because we demand them to be high. Because as a football club, these fans put so much money, travel so much to so many places. Because Celtic, for the past however many years, have played probably the most amount of games they've ever played in their history. Because they're getting to every cup final, they're getting far in Europe, but it's just such incompetence from the board, like so bad, and it's not just been happening from now. As I said the other week, Dom Mackay came in at Celtic, had one of the most successful transfer windows ever, brought in some of Celtic's most recent best players like Kyogo, Maeda, Hatate, Giamakis. He left due to personal reasons, and he was in another job 3 months later. So you try to tell me that was true? Because I tell you what happened. This Peter Lowell and all these other people went, "You're fucking spending too much money at this club. You need to go." And that's exactly what happened. Celtic could be in a real dangerous place next season. They could have a manager who has brought so much success, probably not going to be there. Players like Maeda and Atati wanting to be away.
Mate,
But
that's another statement that we've not even touched on. The fact that Maeda's came out openly, someone that obviously appears to love Celtic, everyone knew that he'd been linked away, but I don't think anyone knew his severity. Coming out with a statement like that is fucking bold as well.
but do you know what was good from him at the end of that statement? I will work hard for as long as I'm here, though. So he's not down in tools. But the thing is now, if he does miss another one-on-one, that statement's getting plastered everywhere. So, but it happened with Benjamin Seagrist. I don't know if you've seen that as well. He put up a post saying some things never changed. So he done a podcast, and Celtic held back a year of his career because do you know what happened? Please, no, wait. Please take a guess what happened. Please take a guess.
He was meant to go out on loan, and Rogers said, "No, you're part of my plans. I need you to stay," and then he never kicked the ball for him.
No, Michael Nicholson. Michael Nicholson, this guy that's brought in so much money and in his own fucking pocket, refused to answer the phone. Refused to answer the phone. And I don't know if you've seen that voice note, and I know these WhatsApp voice notes, you don't know if they're true or not, but it was doing the rounds and it seems pretty true because this has happened before. Yang was down in Birmingham, I believe it was going to.
I did hear that one. I did hear that on
And
WhatsApp. I have seen that.
Michael Nicholson also never answered the phone. Celtic also wanted. So that's another thing as well, Brooklyn, and I won't keep you much later because I get it is 10 o'clock at night and we still need to do our predictions, but I'm sure you're having a laugh. Inamura, who as soon as they walked in the door was told he was going out on loan. Where, where's Inamura right now?
In the B
He's in the
team.
he's in the B team. Right. Johnny Kenny, who was told he would be going out on loan, is possibly our number one striker for European games. So absolute incompetence and
You know,
yes.
see,
Sorry.
see, probably the only thing that I want to touch on,
Yes.
and it's probably because I'm wearing this jumper as well. See the fans that are saying that Celtic fans are like essentially jumping the gun or have been spoiled or anything else like that. I look at Man United and I think it's a very similar situation because United were successful for about 20 years and Celtic aren't far off that at this point as far as like how recent is it. So obviously Celtic have always been successful. What I mean is in the last 20 years it's been above and beyond.
Yeah.
Um, United were successful for 20 odd years and they would go out and they would buy players, but it was constantly them when the Glazers took over. United were still winning things, but fans were still protesting because they were seeing at the time what was the world's most successful club and the richest because the amount of money that was coming in and the merchandise and everything else and all of the stuff that us fans don't really see. But United fans kept saying that eventually, if the Glazers keep going the way they're going, it's going to go to shit. And every rival fan, whether it was a Liverpool, an Arsenal, an Aston Villa, it was yous are just like you're too used to success and you don't know what the kind of real struggle or whatever it is and all of that sort of kind of stuff that other fans can easily throw at you. But I think that's why Celtic fans are probably doing the right thing because Celtic, like you're saying, are top 2, top 3 most profitable, sustainable football clubs in Britain. And
Yeah.
you're not seeing any of that money. And it's not as if the money's getting invested into stadium and they're going, well, we can't sign players because we're doing this. Or you've got a world-class manager who's getting stupid wages, or you broke the wage structure for a certain player to come in, or you've done a £25 million signing last year. None of these things are happening. So it's very much you're getting between 30 and 50 million each year for the Champions League, which you have got for the last couple of years, going into the club, and then never mind the fucking 140, 150, 160 pound for the packages. Like, you're
Can I
making
touch on that while you mention the packages there? So a lot of Celtic fans came off the home cup ticket scheme, which I completely back. But the thing is with the packages, right? People obviously don't want to buy that as a protest. But what I will say to people, whether it's 5 people that hear this or 500 people that hear this, because I have went on a bit of a head loss there, but I think I've made some very good points. We still want to watch our team. We still want to back the team. But see if your protest is to not buy these packages. See that package that you as a season ticket is not bought. The Celtic board will sell that for even more money to fans that don't get to go to the games. So these fans that don't get to go to the games will go, here's my opportunity to go to one. But see that ticket, that seat they've bought, that would maybe cost us as season ticket holders £35, but it's part of a package. But say I don't buy that package and my seat's then available for the Roma game, they could easily sell that seat for £50. And it doesn't matter if that's only an extra fucking, I don't have quick maths, whatever the difference is between 35 and 50, right? But as much as
15
it
quid, mate.
as much as it's only £15, if that £15 happens 5,000 times in a 60,000 seater stadium, they've instantly made more money.
Aye, you
So
could be timesing that by
fans
the kind of 4 home games you have as well.
So I would like fans to really reconsider that, because we still need to go out there and back the team. This team still is, and maybe we'll talk about that next week, because we'll maybe talk about that next week, right? But the team still isn't really performing that great, and Rodgers, which I've touched on before, is maybe getting away with it a wee bit, and I think he does. I think he does maybe need to leave after this season. I think he knows that. Uh, he still had a squad that should have beat Kairat. He still had a squad that should have beat Aberdeen. He still had a squad that should have beat Rangers, and he's not been capable of doing that. But he's now, from the Rangers game, went into this league season with a lesser squad. So between playing Rangers on the Sunday and the transfer window ending fully on the Wednesday morning, he's went into this season with a weaker team. But the fans really need to still back the team, back the manager, and I don't believe I'll be getting invited to any Celtic games, or anything like that. That was maybe going to be the perks of this. People saying we're doing a good job and maybe I just want to come along, but I don't see me getting invited anywhere regarding Celtic. So
I think, to be fair, mate, we've burnt our bridges with almost every club in Scotland quite early on into a podcast journey. So if we ever do get invited, we'll just make sure to private everything just for a couple of days, just to make sure that we
yes,
can actually be allowed.
um,
Um, but I think, as I said, there's start comparisons, and you look at how far Man United have fallen, and that's the thing. See, once you allow, and this is what Celtic are doing right now. See, when you allow a team, because the gap between Rangers and Celtic had never been bigger when Rangers came back into the league. And then Rangers won the league, and everyone in Scotland believed that Rangers were ready to kick on, and the gap was too big. Rangers
yeah,
didn't, they stayed still. Celtic
yeah,
then
exactly.
leapfrogged them, and since then, the gap's getting bigger. However, I'd say within the last 18 months, you're starting to see that gap shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink. And it's because, like you're saying, Celtic as a club are not backing the actual club. Like, that's mental to say, but Celtic as a club are not backing Celtic. Like, they're not giving them the chance to succeed. Like, say,
Not
just
how Rangers came.
infrastructure.
Uh,
It's like the infrastructure. It's the squad. It's like you're saying, you're allowing players like Greg Taylor, who Celtic could have. I don't imagine he was asking for ridiculous wages, but Celtic
yeah,
let him go on a free. Ida, to be fair, I'd say considering you paid 9, everyone thought that was an overpayment. You get 7.5 back. aye, it's decent, but at the same time, like you said, you're allowing a striker to go, undermining your manager, and not bringing in a replacement. It's
See with Dolberg as well. Do you know what I hated? So we put a bid in for him, which was a pathetic bid, but we still put a bid in. But see, from the first bid, you know, he said that he doesn't want to join Celtic, but we still bid another 2 times for him. See if I'm manager, right? See if you went for a job interview and he went, "How much do you want this job?" And you went, "I don't know if I want it that much, to be honest." You're not getting asked back. You're not.
mate,
Like,
that's the thing.
see
Like
trying to convince players to come to the club. They shouldn't be there. They shouldn't.
that's the thing. See, with clubs the size of Rangers, Celtic, even Hearts, Hibs, Aberdeen, you shouldn't need to sit a player down and convince them of a project. You should be enough to say, we are Celtic, we're in the Champions League every year, if not the bare minimum of European football. You're playing in one of the biggest derbies in the world. You're going to be winning silverware.
Yep.
If that's not enough for you, fuck off. It should be simple as that, because a Celtic or Rangers should have a short list of, to be fair, any club nowadays should probably have a short list of about 5 players per position. They should know these are the problem areas, whether it's, for example, left back, striker, and goalkeeper. They're the 3 positions we need to sort first. Anything after that's a bonus. But you were just hearing like the, the rumours were so quiet for months. At that point where obviously you convince yourself, and if I'm bored one night I might go back and clip it and post it. You had said a few weeks ago that you were certain before the end of the window Celtic were going to bring in between 6 and 8 new players.
I didn't say 6 8. Did I think I said 3? Surely.
Nah, I promise you, you said something. I think it was
Right, can we
between.
think
Might have
about this?
been.
Can we think about this quickly? But right, so who did we bring in? Pusey, the 2 wingers. Is that
The
it?
left back.
Left back and Negrin.
I think you signed Negrin. I think
Right.
you'd signed one or two. But aye, basically it's a lot. It's a lot to unpack with Celtic.
I had it. I will be honest. I mean, I did make some good points, but it was a generational head loss. But my points did get made very, very aggressively, but very. It was from the heart, and it meant a lot. So I hope you all enjoyed and agreed. If you disagreed, then I'm afraid you're just wrong. But finishing off, we'll not dive much into the game because we are filming this quite late at night, and we are boys that need their sleep, especially after that. So we'll just kind of do predictions. Obviously, as I stated, I'm on 23 points. Brooklyn's on 14 points.
Oh,
I'm going to need an absolute shitter of a week, but literally there's still another however many weeks, 29 or 30 to go. So it's not over till it is over. I don't even think we have a forfeit or a bet for this. We'll maybe do one. I don't know. I don't want to do one now because I'm ahead, but I might not be ahead
no,
in time.
I think to be fair, we should still do one, because regardless, I think we're agreed we're going to do one. So
Yeah.
I think it's only fair that I can't say just because I'm losing. It was they were my predictions. It's not as if
For
it's your
sure.
fault.
So Aberdeen versus. So I've got ones written down from last week, and to be honest, I'm going to stick with them. I don't know what I thought would change my mind, but Aberdeen and Livingston. What have you went? What are you going to go for?
2-1 Aberdeen.
Okay, I've went 3-1 Aberdeen. Dundee versus Motherwell.
Motherwell 3-1.
I've went 2-1 Motherwell. Falkirk versus Mirren.
1 each.
1 each. I've went 2-1 St Mirren.
Right, so there's the first difference. That's where I can maybe
Yep.
get the points.
Rangers versus Hearts.
Don't make me do this, man. 2-0 Rangers. However, if anyone's going to score for Hearts, it's going to be fucking Claudio Braga. That boy's a serious player.
So I genuinely don't know, mate. I went 2-2. I still don't think Russell Martin gets his
I
first win.
Last season I used to pull you up, but see now I'm like, actually not surprises me.
Nah.
Like,
Mate, can I be honest with you? I think Hibs. I said I think he gets to the Hibs game, and if the Hibs knock he's out, that's him done. I think Hibs.
I agree with that.
knock he's out.
I said this recently in work. I think that's 100% the case.
Hibs versus Dundee United, kind of really. I went 3-0 Hibs obviously the disappointment with Leeds of Warsaw, but still a strong side. I went 3-0 Hibs.
Hibs 2-1.
2-1.
I always think both teams will score. That's kind of what I've realised.
And then Kelly versus Celtic. I've went 3-0 Celtic.
Is it at Kelly?
Yeah.
2 each.
Bold. I like it. So, quick run through. I've went 3-1 Aberdeen against Livy. You've went 2-1. Then it's roles reversed for the next one. Dundee to Motherwell. I've went 2-1. You've went 3-1. Falkirk St Mirren. I've went 2-1 and you've went 1 each. Rangers Hearts. You've went 2-0. I've went 2-2. Hibs Dundee United. I went 3-0. You've went 2-1. And then Kelly Celtic. I've went 3-0 Celtic and you've went 2-2. So that is us. A great show. Obviously, Brooklyn back as well. I believe that was some. I think it was quite good shouts, and a lot of the points there with Aberdeen, Rangers, and Celtic, and then talking about Scotland and the board, and then predictions. So I hope you all enjoy, and thank you for your time, Brooklyn.
Nah, ideal, mate. As always, great to be here.
Perfect. Right. So thank you, and I hope you all enjoy. Cheers.